Welcome back to Self Love Sunday. My dear sister, welcome. If this is your first time, perhaps you're just curious about this particular episode, a very warm welcome to you. And if you have joined me in the past already, again, welcome, very warm welcome. And I'm so happy to walk alongside you on this journey of healing. As we know, it's not an easy one to go with healing from trauma bonds. They leave us with a mix of different feelings, starting with confusion, emptiness, guilt, shame. So let me tell you this takes a special kind of strong woman to show up for herself despite all of this happening within herself, but despite all of the doubt that you're experiencing, perhaps you're experiencing. So let me just congratulate you on your strength and resilience. And just the fact that you're watching this video today to regulate your nervous system is enough, okay? You don't need to do anything else. You don't need to fix anything. You're perfect exactly the way you are. So you showing up to this video is enough, okay? Especially if more things during the day might overwhelm you. I'm proud of you. Thank you for showing up for yourself. This tells me a very important thing. You are not asleep. You are paying attention. Yeah, you want to do better for yourself. Now, before we begin, just a gentle disclaimer that I'm not a trained therapist or clinician. I speak from a lived experience. I walked the path and still am walking the path of healing from trauma bond, right? I'm deeply proud to be able to now walk alongside you to help you through this process, perhaps make it slightly easier and slightly more loving. Yeah. So let's take a breath together and let's dive into the episode. There's a gorgeous rain outside, so I'm very much feeling cozy today. But yeah, let's look at today's subject. Why do we fear being called a victim so much, or being a victim so much? There's a pattern I see yet again and again in strong, self-aware women that recover from toxic relationships, and they are intelligent, reflective, responsive, and responsible. They don't want to be stuck in the past, right? They don't want to be seen as victims. And somewhere along the way, the word victim became dangerous. Not because they deny harm, but because to them, victim feels like weakness, stagnation, collapse, giving up your agency, right? Not taking responsibility. So they move quickly into, oh, I understand, I've forgiven, I've learned a lesson, I don't want to dwell. But notice this, the body hasn't been invited to the party yet, right? You may know everything here, but this part of you doesn't have the time to catch up. So what is it actually? What is that block that is holding us? For many strong women, the fear isn't healing. It is being misinterpreted. Being seen as someone who cannot cope, who blames others, who stays powerless. Right? So grief gets bypassed. Rest gets postponed. Pain gets intellectualized. Not because you're avoiding growth, but because you've survived by being capable. Now, this is not a flaw. It's a strategy that once kept you safe. Now, this is very important to reframe all of it, right? This is victim versus impact. Here is what changes everything. Being impacted is not the same as being powerless. Okay, being impacted is not the same as being powerless. You can acknowledge this affected me deeply without saying I am defined by it. Okay. I cannot reiterate or reinforce how important it is to allow all of the feelings, not keep them blocked and stored and suppressed within your body. You deserve to experience everything that you need to experience. I'm talking about the emotions, like go through all of the waves of emotions that are present. You don't need to force yourself to forgive too soon. You don't need to force yourself to be loving and caring towards people that hurt you. Acknowledging what happened to you, allowing the awareness that it impacted you in an incredible way, not in a positive, incredible way, it's in a deeper, harmful way, is very important on the journey of healing. Because when we're dealing with the abuser, usually there's the two sides of them that we see, right? And that leaves us split because we see the good side and the bad side, right? So it's so easy to gaslight ourselves to be kind to them and not pay attention to the impact that they've had on them, that their negative side had impact on ourselves. Yeah. It is actually good to separate this. The kindness you can leave for later. But what first needs to happen is separate that part of the abuser that is the monster part and freaking call it out for what it is. Freaking be validating towards your experience. No excuses, just that was not okay. You can use stronger words as well. Sometimes it really helps to just insult the out of them. I'm talking about like in writing, for example, or when you're alone in a safe space, to scream into the pillow, as cheesy as it sounds. Like, it's so important to let it all out, without guilt and shame. In a safe environment, right? In a safe environment. So in the safety of your own home, your room, in the safety of your journal, in safety of a letter that you're going to keep for yourself or burn, that you're never going to send to anyone, right? So important to separate that and recognize the impact that it had on you unapologetically. And the forgiveness may or may not come later, but do not force it intellectually. Your body needs time to catch up. Your body has to be believed on that impact that it experienced. You're not a victim just because someone calls you that, and you're not a victim because you're going through all of the emotions, all of the grief, shame, guilt, sadness. That doesn't equal you being a victim, okay? That's just being a human being who's been harmed by another human being. Now, before we close, I want to invite a short moment of grounding. Nothing you need to do perfectly or do at all. Maybe you just want to listen or skip that part. If you feel safe, let your feet rest gently on the floor. You might want to place one of your hands on your chest and the other one on your belly. You know? And allow your breath to slow down. No forcing, just noticing. As you breathe, I'll offer a few gentle phrases. Okay? You can repeat them silently or simply let them pass through you. Okay? I'm allowed to acknowledge what impacted me. Naming my pain does not make me powerless. I can be strong and still be tender. I don't lose my agency when I tell the truth. My strength includes compassion for myself. Take one more breath in. And out. Now, let me gently remind you, you are not weak for needing this validation. You are wise for noticing the pattern. You are wise to acknowledge the pain and the impact that it had on you. It is okay. Thank you for being with me today. Take what resonated and leave everything else behind. And I hope you take good care of your heart. And I'll see you next week.